All right, welcome. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting frontiers in AI, and that is building agents. I want you to think of it less like you're just coding a simple script, and more like you're an architect, designing a system that can reason, plan, and act all on its own. So let's get our hard hats on and get started. Okay, so if you're a developer, I'm pretty sure you've felt this, right? The whole landscape has just exploded. You've got LangChain, LangGraph, super powerful models like Gemini. It can honestly feel like someone just handed you this box of incredibly powerful, but totally confusing parts. So the big question is, where do you even begin? Well, to answer that, we've laid out a blueprint for you. We're going to go from understanding the puzzle to making the core decisions, and then we'll peek inside a framework. We'll even cover deployment, and most importantly, why all of this matters. Consider this your path from confusion to clarity. So let's kick things off with the big picture, the AI agent puzzle. Right now, building an agent really does feel like assembling a complex machine from a kit that came with 0 instructions. You've got all these amazing components, but how in the world do they all fit together? And look, this isn't just a feeling we're having. It's the reality of working on the cutting edge. As this quote from Google Cloud points out, the process really is like solving a complex puzzle. But hey, every puzzle has a solution, right? The key is just understanding the fundamental pieces. So let's get on the same page. What are we actually building here? At its core, an AI agent is basically an application that uses an LLM, like Gemini, as its brain. Now, this brain doesn't just generate text. It acts as a reasoning engine to figure out what actions it needs to take, like, say, searching the web or analyzing a file to accomplish a goal you've given it. Okay, now that we know what an agent is, we can get to the absolute heart of our blueprint, the 3 strategic decisions you, as the architect, have to make before you even write a single line of code. Trust me, getting these right up front is going to save you a world of trouble later on. And here they are. First up, your path. Are you going to go no code for a simple task, or do you need a full custom build for more complexity? Second, the framework. What kind are you going to use? One that's easy and abstract, or one that gives you that really fine-grained control? And third, deployment. A quick and simple setup, or a fully managed enterprise-grade environment? This is the mental model you need.
Let's dive a little deeper into that second decision, because it's a big one. Choosing your framework. This is really where you decide on the trade-off between simplicity and power, and it's going to define your entire development experience.
So on one hand, you have what we call high abstraction frameworks. Think of these as kits with pre-built modules. They're way faster to get started with for simpler agents. But on the other hand, you've got high control frameworks like LangGraph. These give you the raw components to build complex multi-agent systems exactly how you envision them. More control means a lot more power. For the rest of this explainer, we're actually going to focus on that high control path. And why is that? Because it's what really shows you how these agents actually work under the hood. So our tools of choice are going to be LangGraph for its awesome graph structure, with the super fast Gemini 1.5 Flash model as our reasoning engine. All right, let's pop the hood and take a look inside. How do we actually assemble an agent using something like LangGraph? What are the core components that make it think and act?
Well, it really boils down to 3 key parts. First, you have the LLM brain, like Gemini, which does all the reasoning. Second, you have the tools, which are what give the agent its skills to interact with the world. And finally, you have the agent executor, which is basically the engine that connects the brain to its tools in a continuous loop.
And this brings us to this super important concept of tools. A tool is how your agent interacts with anything beyond its own knowledge. It could be a simple Python function you write, or a really powerful API. As you can see in this little code snippet, giving our agent a search tool is as simple as just adding it to a list. And just like that, boom, your agent can access up-to-the-minute information. Now imagine a tool that isn't just an API, but is another agent. This is where these high-control frameworks get really, really powerful. You're not just building one agent, you're building a whole team. You can have an orchestrator agent that acts like a manager, and it delegates work to specialized worker agents, one for image analysis, one for audio. This is how you solve truly complex problems.
So how does this all come together? It all starts when you ask a question. The agent's LLM brain thinks for a second, and decides if it needs a tool to find the answer. If it does, that tool executes and sends the results back. Finally, the agent takes everything it has and synthesizes it all into one comprehensive response. And that's the loop. Simple, right?
So, you've designed your agent, you've built it, it works beautifully on your machine. Awesome. But now for the final, critical step.
How do you get it out into the world so users can actually interact with it? This brings us to our third core decision: deployment.
And once again, you've got a choice here, and it's based on your needs. For a simple app you need to get live like yesterday, something like Google Cloud Run is perfect. It's fast, it's straightforward. But for a serious enterprise-grade application, you're going to want to manage runtime like Agent Engine, which gives you all those critical features for quality, context management, and performance monitoring.
And what's really great is that platforms like Agent Engine are designed to be the final destination for agents built with all sorts of frameworks. So it doesn't matter if you use LangGraph for high control or Crew AI for high abstraction, this managed ecosystem gives your agent the robust, scalable home it needs to really thrive in production.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, and the where. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about the why. Why is mastering this whole architectural skill so important right now? Well, because the future of software is agentic.
And this isn't some theoretical exercise. Agents are already being built to solve real-world business problems that were, frankly, intractable before. I'm talking about automatically moderating content at a massive scale, performing nuanced searches across video and audio archives, or even automating creative content production. The crucial point is, this is happening right now.
I just love this quote because it really captures the shift in thinking here. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots. We're creating agents that can act as an entire production studio, generating video, composing music, writing narration, all from a single prompt. The agent becomes this amazing coordinator of complex, creative tasks.
And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. We've laid out the blueprint for building these powerful systems. We've seen an agent can be a puzzle solver, an orchestrator, or even a whole creative studio. So the only question left is this: what incredible, complex task will you build one to solve next?